Gillis' transformation, a journey of suffering, hope, and love. When Gilly was found, his condition was heartbreaking. His small body was covered in hundreds of ticks, parasites that had sapped his strength to the point of leaving him immobile, unable to fight or even stand up. His eyes, opaque and nearly closed due to the insects that infested his eyelids, reflected deep pain and silent surrender. Gilly was so exhausted that he could barely breathe. He simply lay there, as if waiting for the end. The abandonment scene. Gilly was found on the steps of an abandoned house, a place that reflected the state of his soul, empty, forgotten, and neglected. No one knew how long he had been there, but his emaciated body covered in wounds told a story of months, perhaps years, of suffering. Some passers-by, moved by compassion, left scraps of food and water, but no one was willing to do more for him. His situation was a cruel reflection of human neglect. His previous owner had probably abandoned him when he realized that caring for him would require time and money, a cost that many consider too high to pay. The arrival of an angel. It was then that Anjos heard about him. Determined to help, she went to the place and, upon seeing him, was paralyzed by shock. Gillis' small body was so infested with ticks that it was difficult to see his true form. His skin was covered in open sores, and the smell of neglect permeated the air. With tears in her eyes, Anjos knelt beside him and placed a bowl of medicated food in front of him. Gilly, hungry, began to eat, but each bite seemed like a monumental effort. Despite his weakness, he still found the strength to chew, a small sign that, deep down, he had not completely lost the will to live. The rescue. Anjos knew she could not leave him there. She carefully picked him up in her arms, feeling his fragile body tremble with every movement. He was so light that it seemed as if he could break at the slightest touch. Inside the car, Gilly remained still, but his eyes, although tired, seemed to be searching for something, perhaps a spark of hope. When they arrived at the veterinary clinic, his condition shocked even the most experienced doctors. The initial treatment. The veterinarians immediately began to remove the ticks that infested his body. Each removal was painful, and Gilly moaned softly, but did not resist. He seemed to understand that this process, however uncomfortable it was his only chance of survival. It took hours of hard work. The ticks were removed one by one, revealing skin marked by sores, scabs, and signs of prolonged neglect. Gillis' small body was so dehydrated and malnourished that he had to be put on intravenous fluids immediately. The fight for life. Despite all the suffering, Gilly demonstrated an astonishing inner strength. He accepted the care with a calmness that touched everyone around him. Each day, he showed small signs of improvement. His eyes began to lose their dull look, and his skin, although still scarred, began to slowly heal. Anjos was by his side at all times, feeding him small portions of nutritious food, bathing him with medicinal herbs and, above all, offering him the love and security he had never known. Gillis' rebirth. As the weeks passed, Gilly began to transform. He regained weight, his skin healed completely, and his fur began to grow back, revealing a loving and energetic little dog. Anjos named him Gilly, which means joy. The name could not have been more appropriate, as he became the personification of happiness. His once dull eyes now shone with gratitude and enthusiasm, a new life filled with love. Anjos decided to adopt him, ensuring that he would never again face abandonment or pain. Gilly now lives surrounded by love, security, and a family that values him as he always deserved. He has become a playful companion, full of energy and joy, a stark contrast to the frail and desperate dog that was found on the steps of that abandoned house. A lesson in hope and resilience. Gillis' story is a powerful reminder that with love, patience, and compassion, even the most fragile lives can be transformed. His journey from suffering to happiness is a testament to the resilience of animals and the impact that an act of kindness can have. Today, Gilly lives the life he always deserved, happy, healthy, and loved. He is living proof that even in the darkest times, there is always hope for a new beginning. May your story inspire us all to be the change others need to survive and thrive.